In the 80s, Hasbro put plans in place to take 3 of their toy lines, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and My Little Pony, to the next level with a full-length feature animated films for each, as the success of the Care Bears movie took the world by surprise that a low-budget animated film about a toy line could be so successful at the cinemas. And so, with that, Hasbro went to work to cash in on this new market. But things didn't go to plan, as the Transformers movie that came out first tanked at the box office, as there was a bit of backlash from parents as they decided to kill Optimus Prime off in the movie, and kids were traumatized by it. So Hasbro had to rethink their plans, and so instead of a theatrical release for the last 2 movies, they ended up going straight to home video. And with that, I give to you this is an animated action / sci-fi film that comes in at 93 minutes and was released straight to home video on the 20th of April 1987. The movie was written by Buzz Dixon and Ron Friedman, and it was also directed by Don Jurwich. It was released on DVD on the 20th of June 2000 by Rhino Entertainment, and then later on DVD and Blu-ray by Shout Factory on the 27th of July 2010, with no 4K HD release as of this video. The story starts with Cobra licking its wounds after another defeat at the hands of G.I. Joe, with some internal conflicts erupting between Cobra Commander and Serpentor as to who should lead Cobra going forward, when a strange woman infiltrates Cobra HQ to reveal herself to be part of an ancient civilization called Cobra-La, which has been waiting to resurface and take over the world that they once ruled over. They enlist Serpentor and Cobra to help them steal the Joe's broadcast energy transmitter to complete their world domination plans. Can the Joes put a stop to not only their familiar foes, but also their new bizarre and powerful beings of Cobra-La?
You will find that Cobra-La is prepared to handle all contingencies, my impetuous friend.
This movie is a roller coaster of awesome 80s action, complete with epic laser battles, heroic catchphrases, and a plot that swings between the exhilarating to the head scratching at times, with a script that is a real mixed bag, showcasing some of the best and worst of 80s animated dialogue you will ever see in a movie. It's the kind of dialogue that both is cringeworthy and endearing, reminding you that this was definitely a product of its time. As far as the plot goes, it's a whirlwind of epic 80s cartoon proportions, with the introduction of Cobra-La, this ancient and mysterious civilization that has been pulling the strings behind Cobra all these years, adding a sort of new layer of intrigue to your typical G.I. Joe versus Cobra dynamic from the TV show. However, it also takes the story into the somewhat bizarre territory of the sci-fi fantasy realms, which G.I. Joe is not known for, which does leave the audience wondering if this is a sci-fi movie or a military special forces movie. Look, the character development takes a bit of a hit here as well, as the movie introduces new faces like Serpentor and the extended Cobra-La characters, while some G.I. Joe favourites, they get their moments in the spotlight. Others seem to just fade into the background without much explanation. It's a bit of a letdown for fans who are hoping for more of a balanced ensemble performance, but look, when you're dealing with so many characters, it's hard to give time for everyone to shine. Despite its flaws in its storytelling and its narrative, it will resonate with fans of the original cartoon in probably a nostalgic way of like a bygone era of like animation. And while it may not hold up to the contemporary storytelling standards of today, it is a testament to the over-the-top, unapologetic spirit of the 80s animated adventures some of us kids grew up on TV. So look, that's why I'm going to give this a 21 out of 30.
But when I get through with them, what are you gonna be? Perfect!
Now, this is an original story and not a direct adaptation of any specific comic book storyline out there, but it does draw a lot of inspiration from the Marvel comics that really created in the day a lot of the backstory and the lore of G.I. Joe that we know today. Now, the action sequences are where this movie truly shines, and it is a testament to the animators that went all out with intense battles, showcasing the high energy, pulse pounding excitement that was the G.I. Joe TV show. And true to the animating style, it may feel dated now, but it's perfectly captures the vibrant aesthetic of all those 80s cartoons that we used to see as kids, from the character designs that are bold and exaggerated, fitting in perfectly with the larger in life personalities of the G.I. Joe team and their Cobra adversaries, into the action sequences that a visual feast filled with laser beams, aerial dogfights, and enough explosions to make even Michael Bay proud.
Hey, I'm talking about explosions, car chases.
Now, if we look at the cast list, it is literally a who's who of 80s cartoon voiceover legends. It looks like just about everyone that was in the voiceover game in the 80s is on this list. Look, to be honest, to be fair and honest, no one really puts in an Oscar-winning performance. Hell, I think some of them just had a couple of lines in the whole movie. So there's nothing really to write home about here. But we do get two big names to have on the marquee to draw the people in, and they were Burgess Meredith and Don Johnson. Now, anyone knows Burgess Meredith as either the Penguin from the 60s Batman show or Rocky's coach from the Rocky movies. But in this movie, he voices out our main bad guy,
Golabulus, supreme ruler of this kingdom of Cobra-La.
and does a fair job of it. But I found it hard not to go, hey, that's the Penguin, every time he spoke. But yeah, that's probably just me. And of course, we also had Don Johnson voicing Lieutenant Falcon, who as well, look, it was a pretty average performance as well. But primarily, he was the main star power for this movie, because at the time, he was on the TV show Miami Vice, which at that time as well was at its peak when this came out. But overall, it's your standard fare for your 80s animation as far as these sort of things go. So with that, I'm going to give it a 17 out of 20.
Because you are rough, tough, fighting machines!
Okay, if we look at the case, I got a British version. I didn't realise this until I've kind of started doing this review. I thought I had an American version, but it turns out it's a British version. So it's not the Rhino Entertainment one or the Shout Factory one. So just slightly different. But still, a lot of them just have the movie poster on the front, nothing special. And as the sides, it kind of fits in with a lot of my G.I. Joe stuff, very similar in that style. The back, not too bad, I suppose, a basic, as you could say. Now, as we look at the disc, we've got the whole flag thing going on, which is good, nice colour disc. Not that it's fantastic, but at least it's colour. And we've got an inside sleeve as well, which marks it up. But overall, it's about as basic as you're going to get. Yeah, look, I do really like that poster, but yeah, not a great deal of effort put into it. So for that, I'm probably going to give this a bit of a run of the mill. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Beautiful.
So begins the dawn of our invincibility.
So there's no special features on this version that I've got of the DVD, but there are some special features on the Blu-ray release from Shout Factory. So look, if you're into your special features, definitely go pick up a copy of that Blu-ray one, which actually, come to think of it, I may start looking for myself at some stage. But as we're reviewing this DVD, and there's nothing on here, well, you know what that means. The only thing I can give it is a 0 out of 10.
All I want is Serpentor. Just give me one clear shot.
Now, if we look at the Rotten Tomatoes scorecard, as you can see, the critics came in at 43%, while the audience score came in at 65%. So look, no real surprise here at all. I mean, maybe the critic score is probably a little more than I thought it would be, but the audience score is definitely a result of fans like myself getting in here and reviewing it up, as this movie will speak to fans of the franchise, but it will leave people who aren't really don't really understand the G.I. Joe really scratching their heads. And you can see that in the reviews, especially the reviews I read. So look, if we round it up, we're going to get a score of, that's it, 5 out of 10.
The Fang Gang's bound to take a whack at him.
And we'll need all the Joes we can get to whack back.
Now, this review is for my good mate Kane, who asked for this one. And even though it's not technically a comic book movie, it does come pretty close. And for me, being a G.I. Joe fan that I am, look, I couldn't resist doing it. So for me, I don't think I ever saw this movie before. Sure, look, I've watched heaps of the cartoon on TV as a kid, but I can't really remember this movie specifically. And of course, watching it now as an adult with some nostalgia goggles on, look, I did enjoy watching it. I've always loved watching me some G.I. Joe. Look, the animation in this is the outstanding part, you know, especially to watch the opening sequence of the movie with the Joes and Cobra battling it out on the Statue of Liberty. That is worth the watch alone, just for that first 5 minutes. Because I tell you what, you can tell that they were putting the effort in straight away.
People worked really hard on this.
But look, if I was going to be critical of this movie in any way, shape or form, it's definitely got to be because of the story and the way that they veer away from what makes G.I. Joe G.I. Joe. And that is this whole ancient and mysterious civilization, Cobra-La. And then they retrofitted the origins of Cobra Commander and Serpentor. And look, for me, it just didn't work. Taking G.I. Joe into the realms of the fantasy / sci-fi mythos, instead of sticking to what you wanted to watch, you know, G.I. Joe 4, which it's a military-based special forces themes and ideas. You know, once you start playing around with the basic themes of a property like this, you will ultimately lose what is great about it in the first place. But with that aside, I still did enjoy watching it, but put it this way, I enjoyed watching it as its own thing, and I don't really take this as canon, if you ask me. So with everything considered, overall for myself, I'm going to give this a 12 out of 20.
Unsubstantiated fantasy! Lies! Lies!
Okay, as far as collectability goes, I'm going to put this as a 3, as it's not like super collectible, but it's definitely one you got to have, especially if you're a G.I. Joe collector like myself. Definitely one you got to get a hold of. But yeah, it's probably middle of the range. It's not, you know, this or that. It's very middle of the range. Now, as far as availability goes, I'm definitely going to put it at a 3 as well, as it is definitely not common. You will need to search for it. I don't know what the runs were like as far as the Rhino Entertainment ones and the Shout Factory ones were, but Honestly, I did a look just recently for this, just to check prices and stuff, and I didn't find too many copies out there. More Blu-rays than DVDs, actually. So definitely look at the Blu-ray if you're going to go pick it up. Now, for your average price, you are looking at somewhere between the $20 to $42 mark for a DVD. And if you're going to go for the Blu-ray option, you're looking at around the $29 to $50 mark. And there is no 4K HD as of this video. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 61 out of 100. Well, that's not a bad score at all for an 80s classic cartoon movie that almost made it into cinemas. It's a great bit of nostalgia, that's for sure, and a bit of fun for all those G.I. Joe fans out there.
Yo, Joe!
Hey, so if you like this video and you want to see some more of my reviews, why don't you click that one there? Or maybe you want to see some of my collection updates. Got you covered too. Why don't you click that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing. Throw me a like and don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.